Hey guys, welcome to the special marathon training series on the Mike White podcast. Clark and I are planning to run a marathon at the end of 2023, so we'll be getting together every week on the podcast, discussing how our training's going and what the path is moving forward. Hope y'all enjoy. All right, welcome to the Mike White podcast marathon training series. This is the week 2 recap. We're going to be recapping what we did last week and then moving on to what the plan is for week 3. How you doing, Clark?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, MJ?
I'm great. So got all 3 of the runs in. Actually, wait, 4. We had 4 runs
Mm-hmm.
last week. Feeling good. I did one thing I wanted to talk about is I had to adjust a little bit because we initially said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a long run on Sunday. And I knew I was going to be driving all day Friday, going to Florida to visit family, and I did not want to do my run after I got back, and so I did it a day early Thursday. But it sounds like you got your run you still got to do on
Yeah,
Sunday night after a long day of driving.
yeah. I had a pretty long drive too. So I drove from Baltimore all the way back to Texas so that I could bring the dog. And I've got that long run I still have to do. But
Did,
it's not too bad, I don't think. I'm just gonna go out and have fun with it.
did you do
Oh,
that in one
real
day?
casual. No, no,
Baltimore
that
to Texas?
no. I broke it into. I left directly after work on Friday and then drove for 4 hours, and then I broke it the next 2 days up into 8 hour drives. So it wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, but okay. So really, it wouldn't make it probably is best to do the run there in Texas just because you're familiar with it and you're not having to
Mhm.
stop and do it on the side of the road like a David Goggins type action or something like that.
That's right.
All right. So how were the runs? What are you feeling? How you feeling?
They were good. I don't feel as fresh as I did last week. The 30-minute runs, I wasn't particularly running them fast, but I was still running them, and then I was kind of trying to focus on pace a little bit more this time. This time I did kind of focus on just making sure that I was running a pace that I could hold steady, and I was actually looking at the pace this time. So it was a little bit different than last week. I think I've always said you kind of have your Superman runs at the start, and I think that I just got my Superman runs out of the way, so I don't feel quite as invincible as I did the week before, but still just 30-minute runs, having fun with them. How about you?
Yeah, yeah. So I still felt pretty slow for I was kind of keeping track of my heart rate quite a bit and it seemed high for the pace I was going, about like 170, and I was doing 10 minutes, 30 seconds, around that range. And then so I got to test it today here Sunday. I did the 60-minute run with my dad, and I used his Polar chest heart rate monitor, and I hear that one's really accurate. And it was a pretty cool app. It was really easy to download and gave a bunch of stats, and I was impressed with it. But it actually ended up being exactly the same as my watch. So it seems like my heart rate has been higher, and I guess it makes sense. The longer I took of not running regularly, I kind of lost that cardio base. So I think I'm still it's slower than I would like, but I think I'm going the pace I should be. I just don't know how long it will be until I can actually start speeding up and staying in zone 2. I don't know. Do you know what a good expectation is for that? Is it going to be like months or weeks?
Um, building you kind of have your muscular base that you're going to build and then your aerobic base. And so building up that aerobic base is going to be a lot more challenging. That one's a lot more difficult to build. So that one might take a couple months, but I think that's probably where I'm struggling too. But that'll take some time. I think what's going to happen is you're going to become more fit, right? So you'll see your body adapting more. Your muscles will develop along with your workouts, but it's going to still take a lot of effort up until our heart rates are, well, I mean, I guess you're going to run based off of the effort. So you're going to, your heart rate's going to just going to be dependent on that. But your aerobic base is going to take some time to build.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to stay humble and patient because I want to start training and running harder. But all the studies and you've been saying and everyone says the zone two is really where you're making your money. So I just
Mm-hmm.
gotta kind of suck it up and feel slow until eventually it will catch up. So that's where I'm at right now. The other thing I don't know if it's been helping, but it's definitely been helping mentally is doing the cold plunges are getting a little cold. So today's I think it was like in the 40s outside, and then the water was actually warmer, which is crazy. It was like 55, but now that it's in the 50s, I can feel it, and it feels like it might be doing something. Who knows? But it's just nice to it's the non-negotiable. It's like there's no reasoning or rationalizing not to do it. So I think that's good just like the runs. Like I'm not gonna rationalize. Oh, I had I can do another run next week or something like that. Just waking up, getting it done, and trying to get on a good routine. So far so good.
That's good. And I think those polar plunges are going to be good for you, especially whenever it starts to get tough. I think I don't I know I've talked about not knowing all of the health benefits. I know there's a lot of people that believe in them wholeheartedly, but I think psychologically that's where you're going to get the most benefit too. I think if you're tough, if you can get through a little bit of discomfort, I think that helps out a lot. So that's good. I think that's great.
Yeah.
But I will say, running out in Baltimore is a little bit different. I just rolled into Texas. It's at least 20 degrees warmer over here. So I guess there's a little bit of difference there. I don't know if I'm going to be, I think I'm going to be a little bit tougher than you whenever it comes to this marathon, if that's the case, though.
Don't you worry about that. We'll see. We'll see. Uh, it's gonna be cold both Chicago and Dallas, so it's
Oh,
probably gonna,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's good. I remember when I ran my one in Fort Worth, it started off and it was really cold. I think it was like 30 something degrees. And I mean, I was freezing. I started off and I knew I just wanted to be in a tank top and shorts because I figured I'd warm up. And then I'd say at like mile 7, I, I was thankful that it was that cold because, man, you kind of get hot. It gets to the point where you wish it was even cooler because it's going to be a lot of miles.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine, but we'll find out. And
We'll get there.
the other thing I wanted to touch on is Wednesdays, no, Thursdays. It was supposed to be Fridays. It was so nice outside, and I was running. And I was like, I feel good. I did 30 minutes, but I'm gonna keep running just for the heck of it. And it was kind of more convenient to get back to where I needed to be, and so I did extra 10 minutes, extra mile, and I think that's fine with zone two. Like, there's no reason to if you're feeling good, and I don't think you can really overtrain zone two, or am I wrong there?
No, I mean, whenever we're gonna start getting into different workouts here later, and so we're gonna want some variability. But right now, whenever we're just running mileage, I think that's probably where you're gonna want to be.
Yeah, and 10 minutes or a mile isn't gonna hurt anything, but yeah, it was nice. It was a good week of running. So what do we got to look forward to for week 3, week trace?
Week 3 is gonna be a little bit more of the same. So we're gonna have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 30-minute runs with Sunday non-negotiable hour run. But this time we're gonna kind of focus on pace on Sunday, and then let's focus on figuring out what pace we want to run for our 30-minute runs, and then hold to it. So I think these 2 first weeks we're really getting back into it, figuring out what it feels like to run 30 minutes. This is kind of more a concentrated effort of figuring out what your pace is supposed to be, or based off of how you're feeling before your run. and based off of what you were feeling during your runs over the last 2 weeks, and then uh, diving into that long run with an intentional pace and effort in mind. So I think this is where week 3 is going to start to get a little bit serious, and so it'll be a good telling. It'll be a good show of what it's going to be like for the rest of this season. So I'm excited for it, MJ.
All right. So what's your? I mean, you said you're gonna see how you feel before each run and determine the pace. What are you thinking today? Um, that would be a good pace for you this week.
This week, oh man, I've been running pretty consistent. I've been at least under 8 minute pace for all of my runs, and so I'm hoping if I could run uh, if I could run consistently around 7:15, 7:20, I think I'd be pretty happy around there.
Yeah, that's quite the jump, but I mean, definitely, I know you're capable of it. Um, I'm probably gonna go a little slower, kind of more gradual, since we got plenty of time. I'm gonna stick to 9 because 9 used to be my zone 2 pace, and uh, now I'm sure it will be fine, but I want to eventually get my heart rate to where it's lower at a 9 minute pace. So that's what I'll be shooting for.
That's good. I think at this point, I've been running without a watch. I think I'm going to have to start running with a watch now. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, so we got the holidays coming up, so that makes it a little more difficult, seeing family, you got to traveling, getting those runs in. So good on you for running tonight. That's a lot of people would not. So I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you don't run tonight, but that's awesome if you do.
Oh, I've already made up my mind. I'm going to go get it. So it'll be good. Old stomping grounds, MJ. It'll be like coming home.
Oh yeah, if anyone's familiar with North Dallas, McKinney, Texas, there's some nice areas to run, just beautiful neighborhoods, nice wide sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of different little markers you can do. I know when I was there, I had a good 3 miler, a 5 miler, and a 10 miler. That pretty much just ran those three the entire time I lived in McKinney. It's beautiful. You doing Adriatica? Going down to Adriatica? Down that way?
Yeah, I've got a loop that I used to run, and then I'm just gonna do that. I think it's 1.25 miles per loop, and so I'm just gonna run that a couple times.
Oh, you're a madman. I hate loops. I I either like a single loop where I never see the same thing again, or run out and back. But if I have to do like laps, I'm not looking forward to interval work because I know we're probably going to be doing laps, and I don't know why, but it's kind of mind numbing.
I think I like it because it can keep me honest. If I'm not running that same pace lap 2, I know something I didn't do something right, or I'm feeling better, and so I don't know. I think it's telling if I can run a loop consistently. I think that's typically a good sign. Or if I can have a structured progression, I think that's typically why I would like it. But yeah, sometimes people need to just have an out and back. I completely understand that. But anyways, this is going to be a good week, MJ. You're out in Florida. I'm here in Texas. I think we should have good weather. Get ready.
All right, let's do it. Well, I think that's all we got for our week 2 week recap, and we're going to go get after it for week 3. Thank you, Clark.
That's right. No problem. Thanks, Cowboy.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Mike White Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mike White Pod, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all have a great day.